Well, I've cancelled my BBC TV licence. For those of you not in the UK, we have this very strange arrangement for historical reasons. You need a BBC licence not just to watch the BBC, but to watch any live TV anywhere. So now I don't have a BBC licence. Of course, I can't watch BBC Live or on demand, but I'm not supposed to watch anything live. I'm not supposed to watch live independent television. I'm not supposed to watch anything live on YouTube. If I go to my newspaper's website and it's got a, click here to see the press conference live or something, I'm not supposed to click on that because I'm not supposed to watch anything live, even if I never watch the BBC. It's as if we had a law that says you can read any newspaper you like, but you have to take out a subscription to the Daily Mail. Now, you don't have to read the Daily Mail, you don't have to like the Daily Mail, but you have to subscribe to the Daily Mail before you read the Guardian or the Telegraph or the Express or anything else. I mean, that would just be crazy, but that's the system we've got with live TV. Anyway, why have I cancelled my BBC licence? Well, a number of reasons. First of all, this whole being forced to pay thing, I really object to it. It's like a compulsory poll tax for anyone who wants to watch live TV. It also means the BBC doesn't have to show adverts, which I think gives them an unfair advantage over commercial stations that do require adverts for their money. A second reason, I watch a bit of TV most evenings, but a lot of the popular BBC shows just don't really do it for me. Now, I don't want to be snobbish or anything. Their big hit at the moment is Traitors, which loads of people love. My daughter loves it. I don't get it. Why do we want to watch people lying and cheating? And then there's all the BBC's dancing and baking shows, which again, very popular, just not for me. Same with their soaps. I tend to like good drama, comedy, some documentaries, not much live TV, and there's plenty of the stuff that I like on other channels. A third reason for abandoning the BBC is they've had a lot of scandals lately. Now, the BBC champions all the fashionable right-on causes. Fair enough, all up for equality and women's rights and Me Too, all of that. But they don't put their own house in order. It seems for a long time to have been a safe space for pedos and sex pests and other people like that. If they're the talent, the BBC covers up for them. It's unacceptable. Fourth reason, the breathtaking bias of the BBC. Now, it's meant to be impartial. That's the deal. You have to pay the licence, but for that, you get an impartial broadcaster. But they're just not. They are fiercely pro-Labour, pro-Green. They're very anti-conservative and anti-reform. Now, these are perfectly valid positions. Any individual's welcome to take those political stances, fine. But not if you're a national broadcaster that's supposed to be impartial. They're very pro-EU, pro-Hamas, very anti the US, anti-Israel. And everything's been presented in the light of these fixed positions. Trump's currently suing them for $10 billion because they edited a speech of his deliberately to make it look as if he was asking for the exact opposite of what he was asking for. He was asking for peaceful protests, and they edited it to make it look like he was asking for the opposite. Now, the BBC has apologised because they were in the wrong, but we'll see what happens with the court case. See, the BBC, like all lefties, hate anyone who is richer than they are. I mean, if you work for the BBC, you've probably got a secure job, nice pay, benefits, fat pension, but they're awfully smug towards people who have to work for a living in the competitive world. I put up with their bias for so long. The thing that really tipped the balance for me, a documentary, supposedly, on the fall of Rome. Why did the Roman Empire collapse? Well, it turns out it's because there were some rich people. And as you know, the BBC doesn't like rich people unless it's one of them. So the fact there were some rich people created inequality. Now, okay, if money comes from just land owning, as it did in ancient economies, yeah, that can be pretty tough. But in an enterprise-based economy, we get all sorts of self-made millionaires who create jobs, create wealth, but the BBC doesn't like them either. The other reason, according to the BBC, is that the Romans let in lots of Goths as refugees from a war, and the Romans weren't nice enough to these refugees, so it's fair enough that the Goths went on to sack Rome, isn't it? I mean, it was just so blatant. And this is the fifth reason, I suppose. It's this smug, conceited arrogance. They know best. They live in what's known as the North London bubble. They only know people who agree with their views. They're so disconnected from the real world, commercial pressures, people struggling to keep their business going. They don't have to worry about any of that. Complaints are just waved away because they're the elite. They know better than us. Not anymore. Anyway, the sixth reason, the BBC is not very good value. Now, I'll put up here some prices for comparison, and you can see what we've got to compare. And I'll just run through some of these. So most of us, I think, with streamers, you subscribe to one, spend a month or two watching what you like from that one, then cancel that and subscribe to another. It's a pretty good system, rotating streamers. Now, Netflix, I keep Netflix all the time because Netflix has usually got something good on it that's new. Currently, they've got the latest season of Rick and Morty and Ricky Gervais and Mortality. So at $5.99 a month, I keep Netflix all the time. Apple, £9.99 a month, bit more expensive. I take out an Apple subscription every time there's a new episode of Slow Horses. And yeah, there's a few other things on it that are good. This time I watched a comedy called Platonic. Season 1, yeah, good, funny. Season 2, you know, they were just turning the handle to churn it out. They also pushed this movie, Formula One, the movie. It was so cheesy. I predicted everything before it happened, and I'm not normally very good at doing that. So Apple $9.99, you know, now and then. Another one I've got at the moment is Paramount Plus at $4.99 a month, good value. I've got that because my niece recommended Twin Peaks. Now, Twin Peaks, well-known show, came out in 1990, and in 1990 I was a young man about town, going out every night. You didn't have catch-up then, so you couldn't watch a show that was on every week unless you knew you were going to be in every Wednesday or work, and I couldn't. So my niece recommended it to me, and yeah, it's good. Certainly for its time, I can see why it was groundbreaking. There's some good films on Paramount. They've got their back catalogue. Top Secret, for example, an underrated film, I think, very good. There seems to be a lot of dross there as well. In fact, it appears Paramount Plus have collected up a lot of other people's junk and stuck that in. Next, Now TV, normally $9.99 a month, currently on offer $4.99. I used to take out a Now subscription every time a new season of Game of Thrones came out, including the last season, season 8, which was such a disappointment. Even though my daughter was in it. My daughter was an extra in Game of Thrones season 8. Anyway. And then I subscribed again for the, I think there's been 2 seasons of House of the Dragon. First one, actually okay. The second one, there's other stuff on Now, Chernobyl, Veep. Probably due another look, actually. I haven't been on Now TV for a while. Prime is £8.99 a month, and for that you get more than the TV, of course. And luckily I don't have to pay for Prime because my son subscribes to Prime membership, so I use his license to watch it. It's got the Clarkson shows, of course, the Grand Tour, and Clarkson's Farm. Now, if you've not watched Clarkson's Farm, you really should. I mean, I grew up in a rural county. I thought I knew a bit about what the farming life was like, but no, it really is an insight into farmers, and I suppose just how businesses struggle, which is another reason why the BBC would never have made it, of course. Now, compared to all these, the BBC was almost £15 a month. Not good value. You could pay for a year. I was paying monthly. And I told them I wanted to end my licence and I'd cancelled my direct debit. And they sent me a cheque for 60 quid. Now, if I paid for the year, that would have been my last few months. They shouldn't have sent me a cheque. So I told them I'd cancelled the direct debit. I mean, I've cashed the cheque. If they ask for the money back, well, I'll think about it. What I really want to find out is whether the BBC, you can join for a month and then come out again, as you can with Apple and Now and all the rest of them. I don't think they're set up for that, but it'd be good to try if you just wanted to join to watch the World Cup or something like that just for a month, but I don't think that's quite how they'll work. Now, as well as all these paid streamers, there's a lot of free stuff out there. And I know a lot of them have adverts, but all you need is the mute button on your remote control and on your phone a game of Monopoly or Wordmaster or something like that. And then when the adverts come on, you click mute, have another go in your game, and then come off. The main, I suppose, free channels, ITVX. Now, there's loads that's really good on ITVX. The best ones, I would say, are Inspector Morse and Foyle's War. Now, if you like intelligent detective drama and you haven't watched Morse or Foyle's War, you're in for a treat. They are brilliant. My favourite episodes of Inspector Morse are probably Driven to Distraction and Second Time Around, which could have been based anywhere. A lot of people say, oh, Morse, it's all about Oxford. Well, actually, it's not. Those two episodes aren't. And Foyle's War, based in Hastings at the time of the Second World War. Absolutely great show. Morse had some spin-offs. Lewis, which, yeah, and Endeavour, which is quite good. The most interesting thing about it is that it filmed some scenes in my old room at Oxford. I'll try and put it up here. This is my room in Exeter College in Oxford, taken in about 1981. And here is a screenshot from the Endeavour episode called Striker, about 40 years later. Oh dear. Now you probably can't tell just from these two pictures, but I guarantee from having seen the show, it's definitely my room in Oxford. Isn't that lovely? I also found a show called Red Eye on ITVX, which has a few plot holes and the goodies and the baddies are the wrong way around, but yeah, good show, well made. Then there's Channel 4, quite a lot of good stuff on Channel 4. A recent discovery there, Patience, about someone who works for the police called Patience. It's based in York, and York looks fabulous, of course, and Patience is autistic. Makes her a very interesting character. Then there's Channel 5, which, well, it's got All Creatures Great and Small, and if you ever want some comfort TV, it's pretty good for that. There's lots of other free channels, but most of them have too many too long advert breaks and a lot of dross. So those are the main ones. So what I would say is that unless there's loads you like on the BBC, dump it. They might even send you a check. Stick with a rotation of the streamers and the free channels. There's plenty to watch.